Sorry for the get up, having a little bit of a hard time getting warmed up here, so I had to dress like I'm going to a soul cycle class. What's up, fam? How's it going? What's up, fam? This week has been pretty mucky, as it has been this entire winter here in the beautiful Bay Area. So I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a kettlebell technique video to answer some questions that I've been getting a ton on my YouTube channel. So people ask me all the time, how do I do these kettlebell exercises without banging up my wrists and like these kind of explosive, like kind of big manly movements without injuring yourself, which is important to know. So I'm gonna do a little tutorial video on how to clean the kettlebell without hurting your wrists. Let's do this. This should be fun. It's my first time doing one of these type workout videos. Fitspo, making gains, lightweight. Let's go, champ. What is a kettlebell clean? Put simply, a kettlebell clean is an exercise that takes the bell either from the ground or from your waist and brings it into the rack position. From down here to up here. Why do you need to know how to do a kettlebell clean? Well, one, the exercise in and of itself is pretty awesome. It's a great metabolic conditioning exercise, gets the heart rate up. It's a big hip power move, so it definitely teaches you how to utilize your glutes, your hamstrings, and your core strength to sort of project your weight, your body, to use that power explosively. So it's really great for power athletes, but it's also just a great exercise if you want to burn a ton of calories really quick. What are the big problems that people normally face when they're doing this exercise? The biggest things I see are, one, I see people squatting. Two, I see people trying to catch the bell the same way you would catch a barbell if you were doing a barbell clean, which is a completely different exercise. In the kettlebell clean, there isn't actually a catch the same way there is in a barbell clean. So don't try and do that. Three, I see people banging the crap out of their wrists. Don't do that. So one, we're gonna work on your hinge. If you don't know what this is, because I didn't fully understand it when I first started doing kettlebell exercises, is that a hinge, a hip hinge, is bending at the waist. So imagine that your torso and your legs are both the ends of a sort of a door hinge, right? Or the sides of a door hinge. And your hips are the hinge itself. And so when you hinge at the hips, you are just folding and coming back. That's what people mean when they say a hinge. And what they're doing with a hip hinge exercise is that they're generating power from this flexion and extension. Sort of interesting, I think, kind of demystifies that a little bit. If you're using that movement to get the kettlebell from down here to up here. The next thing that I notice is this wrist issue. If you are experiencing a big bang on the back of your wrist, as a lot of people do when they're first doing this, it could be one of a handful of things. So let's try and break these down one at a time. The first is your elbow position is probably not quite right. You're probably letting the bell drift out away from you when you need to be keeping it in tight, right? So kettlebell exercises, as well as most powerlifting exercises, are all about efficiency of movement, right? It's about kind of moving your body around the weight so that the weight doesn't have to travel that far. Because the farther the weight has to travel, the more energy it takes you to make it move that far. So here with the kettlebell clean, you want to kind of get out of the way of the bell so that it can have the shortest trajectory of movement. Instead, you see a lot of people kind of letting their elbow go away from their body, and so the bell kind of takes this round sort of half circle to get into this rack position, when really you want it to be just from here, keep the elbow tight, bam, to there. You're just drifting up with the bell. So the way to kind of envision this is to imagine that you're zipping up a zipper on your sweater. So when you clean, your hand's back here, right? Your thumb behind you like you're hiking a football, comes up, and you're zipping up an imaginary sweater and landing in the rack position. So the bell is actually traveling around your hand instead of flopping up and over, and you don't get that big bang. So here, let me show you a couple real quick. So here, hiking the bell back, hips forward, right there. Notice how the bell didn't flop. Elbow nice and tight. Zipping up the sweater. So the other issue I see with people is they frequently are kind of underbelled, using too little weight because they're a little bit nervous, which is smart, but as a result, it's turning literally into a curl. I love bicep exercises. This is not one of them. The point of the clean is to use your hips, not your arms. Your arms should be like noodles when you're doing this. So here's an example of me doing it with a 25-pound bell, so way too light. See, the weight is so light that it's offering me no resistance, and I'm literally just pulling it up with my arm. My hips aren't even doing anything. If I do this with a heavy bell, say the 72-pound kettlebell, I absolutely have to use my hips to do this curl. I cannot physically curl 72 pounds. You'll see this looks a lot different. Way more efficient because it has to be. Alright, so that was harder than I thought. If you like that, let me know in the comments below. Tell me what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. And I will do my best to make those videos happen for you. Just hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Until next time, keep the rubber side down and take care of yourselves. Oh,